Good afternoon. Previous class, we learned something about village Palampur, especially the different activities which are conducted by the village of Palampur, I mean in that particular village. And also, so in the previous session, I told that this village, Palampur, it is one of the imaginary village. See, actually through this village we are going to learn about some of the production activities. So in the yesterday's discussion, we came to know that the structure of the village, the structure of the village. So actually there are about 450 families, and these 450 families, so they were all belongs to the different castes, understood. And even so, out of this there are 80 families, they are actually the upper class people, and even they are owning their own land, and even their houses also, some of them houses also quite large, which are made up of brick and even the cement plastering. And the maximum of the population of this village or the SCs or scheduled caste, and those who are called as the Dalit, the one third of the population of this village. And they are living in a corner of the village, and their houses made up of the mud and straw, and most of these houses do not have electrical connections. So that shows that the condition of the people of the village Palampur, especially except the 80 families. And also, this village, it's so one of the well settled, developed the infrastructure, because it has a two primary school and one high school, and even there is the primary health center also, and one private dispensary also. And the another important thing, so the village Palampur connects with the surrounded the villages and towns, I mean well, the road connections. And there we can see the different, the varieties of the transportation system to communicate, such as bullock carts, even the tongas, even the bogies, and even so there we can see the even the modern vehicles which we are looking in the present days, motorcycles, jeep, tractor, trucks, etc. And even so there we can see the electricity powers all the tube wells in the fields also, and is used for types of small business. See, above all this, I mean, whatever I had explained, all this information that shows that this village, it is one of the fairly well developed systems. It is one of the developed one. So it has a fairly well developed system of roads, transport, and even the electricity, and even the irrigation, and even so schools and health centers also. See, now we are going to focus on the production activities of this village. How these different people, they are involved in different productive or the production activities. So actually, dear students, farming is the main production activity in this farming. Farming is the main production activity in this village. And there we can see the other production activities also. Farming means agriculture. So there we can see the other production activities also, which we are calling as non-farm activities. Non-farm activities. So non-farm activities. So it is very clear, farming is the main production activity, and the people they are involved in the non-farm activities also, and these non-farm activities are including small manufacturing, small manufacturing, transport, shopkeeping, shopkeeping. See, these are some of the non-farm activities conducting by the Palampur villagers. So, these non-farm activities including the small manufacturing and even the transport, and even it's including the shopkeeping also. Shopkeeping. Are you getting now? So here there we can see farming as one of the main production activity, and the non-farming activities including the small manufacturing and even the transport and even the shopkeeping also. See, now it is very clear that about the different types of activities in this Palampur village. Now we are going to focus more on these production activities. We are going to focus more on these production activities. See, here the organization of production, whether in farming or in non-farming activities. So the main aim of production. So we all of you knows that. What is the main aim of production? So the main aim of production is to produce the goods and services that we want. Producing the goods and services that we want. So that is what the main aim of the production activity. Whatever we want, we are going to produce, whether the goods, whether services. See, to produce the goods and services, so there are some of the requirements, and regarding this, we are going to learn in this class. So especially the organization of production. Now let us start to discuss about the aim of the production and the requirements for the production. Okay, so we'll start to discuss about all these things in this session. What is the main aim of production? So, the main aim of production is to produce the goods and service. This is what main aim, to produce goods and service. See, to produce so these goods and services. So we require something, especially so we are required the four major things in this production activities. There are mainly four requirements to produce the goods and services. I hope you are able to follow. The main aim of the production activities is to produce the goods and service. And there are some of the requirements for production of goods and service. There are four requirements. So without these requires or without these we cannot involve or we cannot start the production activities. So what are the four requirements of the production activity to produce the goods and service? See, the first requirement is land. The first one is land. My dear students, can you imagine if there is no land, if we do not have land, whether own or rent, so totally the land. So whether is it possible to conduct or whether is it possible to start any kind of production activities? No. There is no way and there is no chance and it is not possible to conduct any production or is it possible to it is not possible to go through the production activity without land, because even the land and including the land, so the other natural resources we required in this to produce the goods and service. So especially the natural resources such as water and even the forest and even the minerals, so these are the main requires in the production activity. So where we can get the water? On land only. And where we can get the minerals, that is also underneath of the earth of the land, and even the forest produce also. See, this is what the first. So the land is one of the essential requirement to involve or to start the production activity. So including this land, so the natural resources such as water and minerals and forest also required. So without water, without minerals, without forest and without land, so we cannot start the production activity to produce any kind of goods and services. Okay, now what is the second requirement? Because there are totally four requirements. Totally, there are four requirements. So the first one is land. I hope it is clear. And what is the second main requirement? So that is about labor. That is about labor. See, labor means workers. That is people or worker or laborers. See, is there everything? If there is no person, there is no people to do the work, then how can we start the production activities? Whether in a farming activities, whether the non-farming activities, whether to produce any kind of goods and services. So, without labors, it is not possible. So, especially some production activities require highly educated workers to perform the necessary tasks. See, all kinds of labors are not suitable for all production activities. For example, to work in some of the field to produce any kind of goods and services, so the workers must be educated one. Highly educated class people, highly knowledgeable people we require to produce that respective goods or to produce the respective service. Just I would like to give one example for this to understand. See, the teaching profession, it is also actually comes under the service or tertiary sector. See, if suppose if is it possible to call the any laborer to come and teach in our school any subject? No, it's highly impossible. So to teach in a school, college, or in any education institutions, so we required, or the school or institutions required highly educated people or educated people. They must know the knowledge of that respective subject. So then only it is possible to produce the service. And the same way, who are working in a different sector, so they required labors means, so all kinds of labors are not at all suitable for all types of productive activities, because these production activities, it's depend upon what they are going to produce, what they are going to give the service to produce the goods and services. That is completely depend upon the goods and service. Are you getting now? See here, so the different kinds of labors are required for different types of to produce the different types of goods and services. To produce the goods and services. So even being a teacher, they cannot work as a doctor. It's highly impossible. So to get treatment, we require doctors only. The doctors cannot do engineering work, the engineers cannot do the doctor work. And even those who are working in agriculture land as a laborers, so they may cannot work in educational fields or in a teaching field, because they require that if they have that knowledge, if they have that, so the clear, it is essential, they must know, they must educated, so then only they can do any work. Even if the doctor knows about the planning, or even the doctor can involve in the any agricultural activities, even the doctor can teach even in the educational institutions. But the thing is that, so the person must knows about whatever is going to do that knowledge. Are you getting now? See, this is what very important one in the production activities, to produce goods and labors. So that is about the labors. See, the other activities require workers who can do manual work. So because, so for all types of work, we may not require the highly educated class people. So there are some of the manual workers. So those we can engage, or those we can make them to work manually. So each worker is providing the labor necessary for production, whether the educated class or uneducated class. But so the labors are necessary for production. Are you getting now? Now let us see the third requirement. The third requirement. The first one is land and the second one is labor. Now let us see about the third requirement. See, the third requirement is most important. because it is about, here I can say like this also, all these are major requirements are required to produce the goods and services. If there is no land, no, it's not possible. And even if there is no labor, it's not possible. And the third requirement is physical capital. So the third one is physical capital. The physical capital is the third requirement to produce the goods and services. So that is the variety of inputs. See, dear students, the physical capital, that is the variety of inputs required at every stage during the production. So for that we used to call as a physical capital. Physical capital. See, what is this physical capital? So the physical capital, that is the variety of inputs, so which are required at every stage during production, that we used to call as a physical capital. See, what are the items that comes under the physical capital? Can you imagine? What are the things or what are the items that so comes under the physical capital? Can you think? Can you imagine? So, which are very essential. So, the varieties of inputs required during the production activity. And what are these inputs? For example, so we require tools. We require tools. So we require many tools. Don't think tools means what we are using to sit in a house. Tool ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬಾ ಕುತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆ tool ಅಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳ. So this is a tool. Okay. And then what? After tools, so machines. So machines we require. So this is called as, and I mean the physical capitals. We required the different varieties of tools and also we required the machines. Okay, and only this. See, even for simple activities. So for example, we will see that. So the farmers, those who are tilling the land, even so, those farmers also required these the machines or tools. See, the tools and machines range from very simple tools such as farmers flow, ನೇಗಿಲಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಮಕ್ಕಳ. ಸೊ ರೈತ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನೇಗಿಲು ಸಹ ಇಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ machine. See, only this, there are like the turbines, and even we are using this computer. Okay, so etc. See, tools, machines. Okay, then one more important thing which comes under the physical capital. Anybody can you guess where we are in? Building. So the building also, it is one of the important. So tools, machines and buildings. So these are the important things which we are studying under the physical capital. Physical capital. See, these tools, machines, buildings can be used in production over many years, and so suppose we are purchasing a tools, we are purchasing a machines and we are constructed a building. Okay, So this type of whatever we are using, this type of physical capitals, okay, so which are involving in the production activities over many years. So this actually we are not whether we are going to use only one day, then after whether we are going to destroy or spoil or whether it's unable to use one more time. No. So we can use these tools, machines and buildings so for a long time. So that's what, dear students. So this is also called as fixed capital. This is also called as fixed capital. Fixed capital. Because it is all one time investment. Whatever we are using under the physical capital, the different tools, machines and buildings, so we are using this or in production activities so over many years, not only for 1 year or few days. So we are using for a long time, for many years. So that's why, so we are calling this physical capital also fixed capital. Are you getting now? Are you getting, dear students? So now, whether it's enough, so there is a land, there is a labor, there is a physical capital such as tools, machines and buildings, which we are studied as a fixed capital. Whether it is enough to start the production activities? No. So even we required so many other things. We required so many other things. So actually I told that in the beginning only, in the production activities to produce goods and labors, so we required, there are many. So especially there are four requirements in the organization of production to produce the goods and service. So in that we learned in this session only one, and in the first requirement is the land, and the second one labor, and the third one physical capital, and even in this the another one is there, the another one which we used to call as a working capital, which we used to call as a working capital. So here the physical capital is there. No, this physical capital consists of two types of capitals. One is the fixed capital and then another one is working capital. So about working capital we are going to discuss in the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.